I'm Charles McCain. The book I'm going to review now is called Black Flag, The Surrender of Germany's U-Boat Forces by Lawrence Patterson. This is one of the few books, perhaps the only book, that I have been able to find and read about the actual specifics of the surrender of the German U-boat fleet. Germany surrendered on May the 8th, 1945, and a message was broadcast by Naval High Command, which then that message had been dictated by the British, that German U-boats were immediately to surface, fly a black flag, acknowledging that they understood that that was it, and follow a series of procedures, including broadcasting a location at certain times on certain radio bands, and depending on their location, they were to go to the nearest American port or British port and surrender. Now, a number of German submarines scuttled themselves rather than surrender. Some did that in Kiel, some did that in Norway, where the Germans occupied Norway all through the Second World War and had a large U-boat base there. But what is interesting is most people are unaware of the rather complex undertaking of having 300 or 400 U-boats surrender, and they would sort of pop up in places where people were kind of like, where did he come from? Like off the coast of the U.S. or Canada or in the English Channel. People were like, how did that guy get here? And it's quite fascinating, the details that go on, as well as the things that happened when some of the U-boats surrendered, which were gross violations of the Geneva Convention, the way the German crews were treated. Many of them were treated well. And then at the end of after about toward the end of maybe 46, the British towed about 200 of these U-boats out to sea and sank them, and they're still there. And I don't know why this hasn't been the subject of some discovery program or something, because it just seems kind of interesting. Anyway, Black Flag, 5 stars, the only book like it that I've found, quite worth reading.